Greetings and welcome to the year 2026, and we are starting with our new series, The Architect of Order. As a wife, oftentimes the state of being submissive, especially when you're dealing with an unreasonable person, unreasonable spouse, it sounds like you are being put in a corner where you have to look and watch as your house is falling apart. And oftentimes it feels helpless. And you ask this question maybe, why would God want me to submit to such a person? And oftentimes in your heart you might even think, what an idiot. The truth is, indeed, as husbands, we will never match up to the wisdom and understanding that our wives possesses. It's by design. It's God who made it that way. He made you wiser, smarter, more intelligent. But how is it that, of course, this is going to be most of our discussion in this series. How are we going to make sure that you can still design, architect, and maybe somebody may even use the word drive your family into a good direction without fighting and maybe power mongering with your husband, allowing him to be the authority that God made him, but still, how are you going to influence your relation and your family to a good direction? As much as that sounds impossible, I think in order for us to be able to understand exactly how that is possible and how you can do it, the best place to do or how to do that is to study God himself, to study Jesus Christ, and to how he deals with certain things and how he dealt with certain things. And that will help us to tap into the grace that God has made available for us as his children, or especially as wives in household. When things get out of control, how is God going to help you? The first problem or the first mistake that causes us to fall off balance is to focus on wrong things. Specifically, we want to go to prayer and cast out the devil out of our houses because after all, he's the one causing this chaos, and we want him out of our family, whether it's our children who are out of control or our husbands who maybe are out of control. It makes sense for us to want to get up and go into prayer, and we fight against this enemy that is in our house. But will that help? Has that helped? And you will see, if your own experience looking into your family, fastings, prayers, night prayers, every kind of prayer, you have been there when they call for prayer. Why is it not working? Why is it that God is not chipping in? Why is God not doing anything about my family? Oftentimes it lies in a mystery that sometimes we were not getting. God gave grace to the humble, but he resists the proud. Why is that the key? Because as the wife, God has given you a calling, a grace to be specific, a superpower, if you like, a superpower to be humble, a superpower to be submissive. As much as it seems like it's a taking away of strength, and most people, they want to say, I will not submit to somebody else. I will not let anybody lead me. But it's actually one of the greatest strengths that God has given you as the wife. Because as the Bible declares, he gives grace to the humble. So it means that when God says that a wife must submit or subject themselves to the husband, God is saying that I want you to be able to access the grace that is available for the family. The grace that is available for the family is only accessible when you are humble. But God has already given you that when he says to the wife, you shall be subjected to your husband, or rather, you shall desire your husband and he will rule over you. You realize that he was not disadvantaging you. He was arming you with a particular quality that will give you access to the grace of God, the grace of God that is unlimited, that will allow you to quietly steer your house in a particular direction. So God has not put you in a place of weakness. God has put you in a place where you can have full access to his power, access to steer your husband without words. As Peter puts it, you can steer your husband without words by the grace that God has made available to you. And in this series, we are going to explore that. How you're going to take control of your house without words. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the Lord bless you. The Lord keep you. The Lord makes his face to shine upon you. Amen.